The early 19th century was a time of great curiosity. Egypt, with its silent monuments and sun-bleached sands, drew men from all across Europe. Among them was an Italian man named Giovanni Battista Caviglia. He was not a scholar or a nobleman, but a former sea captain who had spent his life navigating the oceans. He arrived in Egypt with a different kind of purpose. He wanted to understand, not just to take. Born in Genoa in 1770, his years as a merchant sailor gave him a practical mind and a steady hand. He was a patient man, used to long voyages and careful planning. Unlike many contemporaries, Caviglia was fascinated by the structures themselves. He saw pyramids as immense puzzles, preferred small tools to dynamite, listened to the stones, and worked with slow, methodical care. A quest not for fame, but a personal connection to the past. In these years, Napoleon's savants and new decipherments stirred Europe. Egypt promised answers buried beneath wind and time, mysteries a patient eye could untangle. Caviglia landed at Bulak Quay, bartering in many tongues, hiring fellahin and craftsmen, learning Cairo's rhythm before turning his steady gaze toward Giza. He kept notebooks of winds, tools, and costs. He spoke of listening to the stone, testing sands with a rod, tracing faint tool marks by lamplight. Caviglia set his base at the eastern face, a scatter of ropes, baskets, lamps and ledgers, turning the sand into a workshop of patience. He divided the day into watches, like a ship's log. At dawn, he checked tools, counted baskets, and noted wind, heat, and the temper of the crews. The descending corridor was his proving ground, packed with chips and dust from centuries. He ordered narrow baskets so men could pass without bruising the limestone. Step by careful step, the floor reappeared. He recorded the slope with a plumb line and cord, writing the angle beside a charcoal mark on the wall. Where the air turned stale, he tested a candle, then arranged a relay of fans at the mouth, coaxing a slow draft downward. He kept the granite plugs in view, immovable guardians wedged above, measuring their faces from below and sketching how debris flowed around them. At the junction with the ascending corridor, he paused the crew, clearing a shelf for tools. He forbade chisels on finished surfaces. Wood wedges and brushes did the work. The well shaft beckoned, narrow, jagged and uncertain. He lowered himself by hemp rope, easing past rotten timbers left by earlier intruders. Inside the shaft, he mapped each change of direction by counting arm lengths, then checked them against a knotted cord back at camp. Foul air rose like an unseen tide. He timed rests, sent up men who coughed, and returned only when the candle burned clean. Below, the passages opened to the unfinished chamber, a place of raw stone. Pick marks hung like frozen strokes. The floor was rough, the plan abandoned. He spread a grid with string and pegs in the sanded patches, measuring spans, depths, and the drafts left by the ancient work. In his notebook, he wrote of water seeping in winter, of bat dust, and of how the shaft might have offered a hidden exit for the workers. Each evening, he compared sketches, correcting lines under lamplight, and copying the fair versions to share with patrons who asked for certainty. He studied tool marks, broad at first, then finer, reading the order of labour as if the walls still echoed with commands. Surface work continued too. He walked the quarry traces, counted casing stone beds, and measured the levelling sockets around the base. When visitors asked for marvels, he showed them his measures, a cord, a plumb, and a plan, proof that observation can move mountains more surely than hammers. By season's end, the passages were clearer, the routes safer, and the maps strong enough that others could follow without guesswork. Caviglia left Giza, not with treasure, but with paths, lines on paper that turned rumour into shape, and darkness into rooms one could describe. From that groundwork, Egyptology at the Great Pyramid took a steadier step, built not on blasts, but on the quiet courage of patient days. In 1817 to 1818, with support from Henry Salt, Giovanni Battista Caviglia began systematic clearance at the Great Sphinx of Giza. At first light, he surveyed the plateau, fixed a working line, and marked a base around the monument. He organised crews of fellahin with baskets and ropes, cut low ramps in the drift, and set a windlass. Loads were tallied in a ledger so progress could be measured, not guessed. Ropes were checked for knots and wear. Pulleys kept true. In hollows, he used a candle test for air before sending men below. Work proceeded in short, controlled intervals. The scope was practical. Clear down along the breast and forelegs, open the pores, and establish simple drainage channels to divert wind-blown sand away from the working face. Between the pores, the ancient stele was exposed to view. It was cleaned carefully and recorded, its position noted relative to the forelegs. Measurements were taken of principal dimensions, about height at the chest, breadth of the pores, distances to the enclosure wall. Pegs, cords, and a plumb set the lines. Plans and notes were forwarded to Salt. He observed quarry marks on the enclosure walls and recorded masonry repairs and patches from later periods. These details were entered with dates and bearings for later comparison. From the drift he recovered small finds, fragments of offering vessels, beads, and later period objects. Each was listed and bagged with its find spot and depth. Ledgers tracked basket counts by ramp. He noted how sand drifted with prevailing winds and kept channels open to reduce reburial. Maintenance was planned as part of the work. By season's end, the chest and pores stood free, and the depth of the Sphinx enclosure relative to the surrounding plateau was confirmed. Access paths around the forepart were improved. Sketches and sections were copied clean by lamplight, with dates 1817, 1818, and sent to patrons. Dimensions, bearings, and notes on air, sand and stone were kept together for reference. His record documented the enclosure, forelegs, breast, and the stele's setting. It provided a baseline used by later investigators, including Mariette and, in the next century, Barrés. The work favoured observation before force, measured clearance, controlled access, and routine checks. It turned spectacle into evidence others could test and extend. Under calm twilight, the Sphinx held its place. Caviglia's season left clearer approaches, sound measurements, and a practical file. Later excavations would go further. His baseline remained. Early 1820s. Memphis, Mitrahina, south of Cairo. Caviglia works the ground methodically. Shallow trenches, waterlogged spoil, baskets, ropes, timber braces holding the edges. By chance, the pit opens on a massive limestone form. Prone, low light raking across carved muscles and royal cartouches. The context aligns near the south gate of the Temple of Ptah at the edge of the village. With British backing, Giovanni Battista Caviglia sets a measured plan. Crews gather with baskets, ropes and timber. A shallow pit is set. Braces go in before spades. Where water pools, bailing begins. Pumps work when the level allows. He records each stage, depth by knots on cord, soil by layer. Surfaces are shielded with damp cloth and wood shims. No blows on polished stone. From the mud, a red granite figure emerges lying face up. The profile is serene, the scale is colossal. Close-ups confirm cartouches, Usamatra Setepenra, Ramses II. Identification is entered in the ledger and copied clean. Measurements follow. Height at shoulder, breadth across chest, spans of the forearm. Broken feet noted, crown fragments listed as missing. Tool marks are sketched. A simple plan shows pit, braces and a drainage trench. A second copy is prepared for dispatch. Letters cross the Nile to patrons and officials. Interest rises in lifting the statue, yet the ground is soft and the weight immense. For the season, it remains in place. Visitors stand in shade to view the prone giant. Caviglia updates his sheet, date, bearings, water and condition, then files the Memphis notes. By lamplight, he concludes, the colossus is recorded in situ, identified as Ramses II, and secured for further work. Night settles over Memphis. The record endures, dimensions, names, context. He matters because he chose method over spectacle, observation over force. Caviglia listened first, then moved sand. His corridor clearances the well shaft made safer plain maps. They gave others routes to follow and data they could trust. Grids, pegs, plumb, level, candle tests at dark mouths, careful notes before tools, habits that read like modern field sheets. His pages cross seas, dimensions, slopes, airflow, seeds for later surveyors and early Egyptologists who built upon his lines. We inherit a mixed ledger. He worked in an age of removals, now debated. Yet his documentation advanced understanding and shaped ethics that value context. Today we measure before we move, record before we lift. His patience echoes in our practice. He proved the desert rewards restraint. Let the stones speak, and we, with care and lines, learn to listen. Caviglia's record is practical. Measured clearances at the Great Pyramid, the well shaft mapped by knots and cord, and safe access restored through candle-tested air. At the Sphinx, 1817-1818, he exposed the chest, he exposed the pores, documented dimensions, documented the Stele's setting, and forwarded copies for others to test. At Memphis, early 1820s, he identified a prone colossus of Ramses II, Usamatra Setepenre, logged measurements, logged condition, logged context in situ. His habit was consistent. Grids, pegs, plumb, and notes before tools. Later investigators, Mariette in the 19th century and Barres in the 20th, worked from clearer baselines because his pages travelled. The ledger is mixed by era. Some removals were sponsored, now debated. The value that endures is method, record first, then act. Today, field practice echoes him. Air checks in confined spaces, mapped passages, and transparent logs others can audit. Conclusion. Caviglia turned rumour into routes and sites into plans. With patience and lines, he taught the desert to be read. In the sands of time, few figures emerge with such clarity as Queen Nefertiti. Her name echoes through millennia. She is an icon, a face recognized across the globe. Her image, captured in a breathtaking bust, has become synonymous with ancient Egypt. It speaks of refined beauty and regal poise. This is the story of a ruler at the heart of a revolutionary era during the 18th dynasty. She was more than just the wife of a pharaoh, she was his partner. Together, she and Akhetaten challenged their society, embarking on a cultural and religious revolution. Her life is a tapestry woven with threads of power, love, political intrigue and deep mystery. To understand Nefertiti is to journey back to a world on the brink of transformation. Nefertiti's life is a captivating mystery. Her origins are debated by historians and archaeologists. She appeared as the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhetaten. Was she a foreign princess or an Egyptian noblewoman? Records are silent. As queen, she wielded unprecedented influence, depicted in powerful positions. This signaled her unique status in the new religious and political order. She vanished abruptly from the historical record. What happened to her? This silence fuels speculation, leaving us to wonder about her final act. To truly understand Nefertiti, we must embark on a journey back in time. We will travel to the heart of the 18th dynasty, an era of opulence and empire building that created the perfect stage for her rise. We will explore the world she was born into, a land governed by a complex pantheon of gods and a powerful priesthood that had held sway for centuries. It was a world of rigid tradition and divine order, a structure that Nefertiti and her husband were destined to challenge in the most dramatic fashion imaginable, setting in motion a revolution that would change Egypt forever. Our story will follow her marriage to the young pharaoh, Akhetaten, a visionary and a heretic. Together, they turned their backs on the ancient gods of Thebes. They championed a new faith, Atenism, which worshipped a single universal deity, the Aten, represented as the life-giving disk of the sun. We will witness the creation of a new capital city, Akhetaten, the horizon of the Aten built from scratch in the desert. Here, in this grand experiment, Nefertiti was not just a queen, she was a high priestess, a divine intermediary between the Aten and humanity, alongside her husband. We will delve into the contentious debate surrounding her later years. Did Nefertiti rule Egypt in her own right after her husband's death? We will examine the evidence for a female pharaoh known as Nefertiti, who reigned briefly before the famous boy king, Tutankhamun, took the throne. Could this mysterious ruler have been Nefertiti, adopting a new name to legitimize her reign as king? This is one of the most hotly contested issues in modern Egyptology, a puzzle that, if solved, could rewrite our understanding of royal succession and female power in the ancient world. Finally, we will explore her enduring legacy. From the search for her lost tomb to the ongoing scientific quest to identify her mummy, the story of Nefertiti is far from over. She has become a timeless symbol of beauty, power, and female strength, an ancient queen whose influence resonates powerfully in our modern world. Join us as we uncover the story of her life, separate fact from fiction, and attempt to solve the enduring mysteries surrounding Nefertiti, the beautiful one, the Queen of the Nile, and perhaps the female pharaoh of Egypt. To understand Nefertiti, we must first understand her world. Nefertiti was born into the 18th dynasty of Egypt, the New Kingdom. This was an empire at the absolute peak of its power and influence. Warrior pharaohs had expanded Egypt's borders, creating a vast dominion. This was an age of unprecedented prosperity, where immense wealth flowed into the royal coffers. The society Nefertiti entered was one of supreme confidence and stability, built upon centuries of tradition and a deeply ingrained religious system. A vast pantheon of gods and goddesses governed every aspect of daily life. The priests wielded enormous political and economic power. Their influence was second only to that of the pharaoh himself. Nefertiti's future husband was the son of Pharaoh Amenhotep III. The reign of Amenhotep III represented the zenith of this golden age. His court was the most opulent in the world. He commissioned magnificent temples. This was the glittering world that Nefertiti was destined to enter and ultimately to help overturn. This was a world defined by Ma'at, the divine principle of order. The pharaoh's primary duty was to uphold Ma'at. The art and architecture were all designed to reflect this perfect order. It was into this civilization that Nefertiti arrived, a woman whose destiny was intertwined with a man who would soon decide that a radical new vision was required for Egypt. Around 1353 BC, Nefertiti became the great royal wife of Pharaoh Amenhotep IV, placing her at the center of Egyptian power. As queen, she was an essential partner in the divine kingship. From the beginning, it was clear this would be a powerful partnership. Inscriptions emphasize the Aten, represented as a solar disk. Nefertiti and Amenhotep IV had 6 daughters. Amenhotep IV and Nefertiti made their family life a central theme. This public display of affection presented the royal family as the sole conduit to the divine. Nefertiti was the female principle of the divine, balancing her husband. She is depicted at nearly the same scale as her husband, a clear visual statement of her elevated status. Around his 5th year, the pharaoh took a radical step. He changed his name from Amenhotep to Akhetaten, declaring war on the old religious order. Akhenaten rejected the powerful priesthood and elevated the Aten above all others. This was the dawn of a religious revolution, and Nefertiti was his most ardent supporter. Thebes was no longer a suitable capital. Akhenaten and Nefertiti chose a virgin site in the desert and founded a new city dedicated to the Aten. They called it Akhetaten, known today as Amarna. With the new city came a revolutionary new art style, characterized by naturalism and emotional expression. Nefertiti, with her famous beauty, became the chief subject of this new aesthetic. In the City of the Sun, Nefertiti stood side by side with her husband, 2 living gods on earth. At the heart of this revolution stood Akhenaten, a visionary, and to the old guard, a dangerous heretic. He believed the universe was governed by the Aten, a radical departure from Egypt's complex pantheon. He was attempting to erase all the other gods. By his side stood Nefertiti, his great royal wife, a true believer in this disruptive project. She's shown as a leading figure in the new cult, a powerful force in her own right. Together they presented themselves as the sole intermediaries between humanity and the Aten. By challenging the old gods, they were directly challenging the powerful priesthood of Amun-Ra. It was a high-stakes gamble that would set in motion a chain of events that would define their reign and their legacy. Atenism was a faith stripped of complex mythology and animal-headed deities. The Aten was the sun itself, the source of light, warmth and life. This was a shift from a national religion to a universal one for all of humanity. The theology is expressed in the great hymn to the Aten, speaking of the sun disk as a universal creator. Life was to be lived in the light of the sun under the guidance of the royal family. The only path to the Aten was through Akhenaten and Nefertiti, making the royal family more powerful. This placed Nefertiti in a position of unprecedented spiritual authority. Families were encouraged to worship the royal family at small domestic shrines. The love between Akhenaten and Nefertiti became the metaphor for the Aten's love for its creation. Never before in Egyptian history had a queen been depicted with such prominence and authority. In the art of Amarna, Nefertiti is almost always present, a constant companion to her husband. She is shown at a scale equal to his, a deliberate visual statement of her importance. This was a radical break from tradition, where queens were typically shown as smaller, subordinate figures. Here, Nefertiti stands as a partner, a co-ruler who shares in the pharaoh's divine status and kingly duties. Her power was not merely reflected from her husband, it was inherent and celebrated. The evidence for her power is startling and unambiguous. On the walls of temples, she is shown performing roles that were once the sole prerogative of the king. Most remarkably, there are depictions of Nefertiti smiting the enemies of Egypt, a classic pharaonic pose symbolizing the triumph of order over chaos. To see a queen adopting this powerful, violent imagery was revolutionary. It suggests that her role was not confined to the religious sphere, but extended into the political and military authority of the state. She was not just a priestess, she was a ruler, embodying the power of the throne itself. Her titles and epithets further underscore her unique position. She was called Lady of the Two Lands, a title usually associated with the king and mistress of Upper and Lower Egypt. In the new city of Akhetaten, she had her own large palace and a sunshade temple, known as the Maru Aten, dedicated to her. It seems she was worshipped there, alongside her husband and the Aten. Inscriptions reveal that she was seen as the sweet-voiced counterpart to Akhenaten, whose soothing presence calmed the god and brought blessings upon the land. She was an active and essential component of the New World Order. Furthermore, Nefertiti's role as the mother of 6 daughters was central to the state ideology. The succession of the dynasty depended on her children. Her daughters, particularly the eldest, Meritaten and Akhetaten, were also given prominent roles in court life and religious ritual. This focus on the female line was another unusual aspect of the Amarna period. It created a powerful matriarchal presence at the heart of the royal court, with Nefertiti as its head. Her influence was woven into the very fabric of the political, religious and family life of the Amarna revolution. To house their revolution, they built Akhetaten, the horizon of the Aten, in the empty desert. Unlike cramped cities like Thebes, Akhetaten was open with temples designed to let the sunlight pour in. Everything about the city was designed to serve the Aten. The city contained everything needed for the Egyptian state to function, from palaces to workshops. For a brief period, Akhetaten was the vibrant heart of the Egyptian empire. Each day, Akhenaten and Nefertiti would process along the royal road to perform rituals to the Aten. But this perfect city was built on a fragile foundation, dependent on Akhenaten and Nefertiti. While the sun shone on Akhetaten, shadows were gathering. The city of the sun disk was destined to have a short, tragic history. For years, Nefertiti stood at the pinnacle of power, her image inscribed across Amarna. Then something changes. The vibrant queen begins to fade from the historical record. What caused this sudden disappearance? The simplest explanation: Nefertiti had died, perhaps a victim of plague. Another theory suggests a dramatic falling out or a political disagreement. A third, more extraordinary possibility: what if she ascended to an even greater height? Some believe she transformed, took on a new identity and continued to rule. In the chaotic final years of Akhenaten's reign, the historical record becomes cloudy. The pharaoh himself dies around his 17th year on the throne, leaving a precarious power vacuum. The revolution he started had turned much of the country against him, and the question of succession was critical. In this moment of uncertainty, a new ruler appears in the official records. This ruler is a mysterious figure, a pharaoh who reigned for a very short time, perhaps only 2 or 3 years, between Akhenaten and the famous boy king, Tutankhamun. The throne name of this ruler was Ankh-Kheperur. The identity of this pharaoh is one of the greatest puzzles in all of Egyptian history. To complicate matters, this ruler used different personal names. Sometimes the name is Smenkhkare, who seems to have been a male co-regent of Akhenaten. At other times, however, the throne name Ankh-Kheperur is associated with a different personal name, Nefertiti. This name, which means beautiful are the perfections of the Aten, is strikingly similar to Nefertiti's own full name, Nefertiti. This similarity is too great to be a coincidence, and it forms the basis of a truly revolutionary theory about the succession. The evidence becomes even more compelling when we look at the grammar. In some versions of the pharaoh Nefertiti's cartouche, there are feminine indicators within the hieroglyphs. It is as if the scribes were struggling with how to write the name of a female who had taken on the titles of a male king. Furthermore, some epithets used for this pharaoh, such as effective for her husband, make little sense for a male ruler, but would be perfectly fitting for a queen who had succeeded her husband. The clues, scattered across different artifacts, seem to point in one astonishing direction: that the pharaoh Nefertiti was a woman. Artifacts from Tutankhamun's tomb provide more tantalizing hints. Many of the objects in his famously lavish burial were not originally made for him. They were inherited or repurposed from his immediate predecessors. Among these items are objects inscribed with the name of the pharaoh Nefertiti. Some of these objects, when studied closely, appear to have been originally created for a woman before being adapted for a male king. All of these tangled threads, the similar name, the feminine grammar, the repurposed objects, lead us to one primary and very famous suspect for the identity of this mysterious female pharaoh. Could Queen Nefertiti and the enigmatic pharaoh Nefertiti be the same person? Some scholars believe so. The theory suggests Nefertiti became pharaoh in her own right, adopting a new royal name and ruling as king, much like Hatshepsut before her. This would explain her sudden disappearance as queen and the feminine traces in Neferuaten's titles. It implies Akhenaten elevated Nefertiti to co-ruler, preparing her for sole kingship. Not all agree. Some argue Neferuaten was a daughter or a male relative, and the evidence remains fragmentary. The debate is fierce, with clues that are ambiguous and open to interpretation. Yet the idea of King Nefertiti is compelling, fitting her pattern of breaking tradition and wielding power. If true, she would have steered Egypt through turmoil after Akhenaten's death, bridging the Amarna era and the restoration under Tutankhamun. This would make her not just a legendary queen, but one of history's most remarkable female rulers. Nefertiti's possible reign as pharaoh remains one of Egypt's greatest mysteries. Whoever ruled after Akhenaten, their reign was brief and marked by dramatic change. Amarna's religious revolution faltered, and the old priesthood waited to reclaim power. Foreign policy suffered, and Akhenaten's death left his vision vulnerable. The new pharaoh, possibly Neferuaten, began reconciling with the old guard and priesthood. The court abandoned Amarna, returning to Thebes, a clear admission of failure. Within a generation, Amarna was deserted, its memory erased by later pharaohs. Akhenaten and his family's names were chiseled from monuments, their temples dismantled. If Nefertiti ruled as pharaoh, she presided over the undoing of her own revolution. Her final act may have been leading Egypt back to the old gods and ways. With Amarna's fall, Nefertiti vanishes from history, leaving only questions. The dream ended, but her enigma endured. After Amarna's fall, Nefertiti's fate is lost to history. No records reveal her end or burial. Her tomb remains undiscovered. Archaeologists have searched from Amarna to the Valley of the Kings, hoping for a clue. Theories abound. Did she die as queen or as pharaoh, and was her tomb destroyed or hidden? The Amarna legacy's erasure means any trace of her was a target for destruction. No funerary objects or tombs bear her name as a deceased queen. For such a prominent figure to vanish so completely is extraordinary. The search continues, using science and re-examined finds, hoping to find Nefertiti, perhaps under another name, or none at all. Her disappearance remains one of Egyptology's most tantalizing mysteries. The hunt for Nefertiti often centers on unidentified royal mummies. In 1898, Victor Loret found 3 anonymous mummies in KV 35. One, the younger lady, was once thought to be Nefertiti. DNA tests revealed she was Akhenaten's sister and Tutankhamun's mother, ruling out Nefertiti. Another lead, 2 unidentified women in KV 21, one possibly Tutankhamun's wife and Nefertiti's daughter. Identifying her daughter could help extrapolate Nefertiti's DNA, offering a new path. Science is complex, but hope remains. In 2015, Nicholas Reeves proposed that Tutankhamun's tomb hides a sealed chamber, possibly Nefertiti's intact tomb. Radar scans have been inconclusive, but the theory persists. Nefertiti may lie just beyond a wall, waiting to be found. The search for her remains is as alive as ever. Nefertiti's legacy endures, even as her fate remains unknown. Her iconic bust is one of the world's most recognized images, symbolizing beauty, power, and grace. She's become a global icon and a symbol of female empowerment. Nefertiti held real authority, possibly even ruling as pharaoh. Her story is celebrated as that of a trailblazer who shaped her own destiny. The mystery of her end only adds to her allure. Each new theory keeps her story alive and evolving. Nefertiti's life was one of transformation. Queen, possible pharaoh, and enduring legend. Her name means the beautiful one has come, and her legacy shines as brightly as ever. She remains a powerful, mysterious queen whose story continues to inspire. We began with the image of a queen whose beauty captivated the world. But Nefertiti was far more. She was a woman of power, substance, and revolutionary spirit. As great royal wife, she was an active partner in reshaping Egypt. Her influence is clear in art and history, depicting her as her husband's equal. The theory that she became Pharaoh Neferuaten adds a dramatic climax to her story. If true, she joined the rare ranks of female kings, guiding Egypt through upheaval. Whether as queen or pharaoh, her significance is undeniable. Nefertiti's journey from revolutionary queen to enduring icon proves her legacy is as timeless as her famous image. Her story continues to fascinate and inspire, echoing through history. Nefertiti's legacy is linked to the revolution she and Akhetaten championed. The Amarna period was ultimately a failure. The dream of a world united in worship could not survive its founders. Akhetaten was abandoned, the old gods were restored, and a campaign was launched to erase the memory of the heretic king and his family. For centuries this campaign was successful, yet a legacy cannot be so easily erased. The very act of attempting to destroy it created a mystery. The dismantled temple blocks allowed for the painstaking reconstruction of the world of Amarna. The attempt to silence her, ironically, preserved the evidence of her power. The unique Amarna art style represented a dramatic break with artistic convention. Nefertiti stands at the very heart of this complex legacy. Her story is a powerful reminder that the voices of the vanquished can echo through time. In the end, the attempt to erase her has only amplified our fascination. The story of Nefertiti is unfinished, an active investigation unfolding in the 21st century. The search for her tomb captures the imagination of the world. The scientific quest to identify her remains pushes the boundaries of what is possible. Nefertiti's power lies in her ability to inspire questions. She is a symbol of female strength, a cultural icon, and an unsolved historical mystery. The beautiful one came, she ruled, and in a way she never left. Queen Nefertiti achieved a form of immortality that has outlasted the stone of her monuments and the gold of her dynasty. Her story is not over. With every new discovery, the search for answers continues. The sands of time have long concealed the daily lives of those who lived in ancient Egypt. Yet beneath the scorching desert sun, whispers from the past remain. Tombs, adorned with intricate paintings and carvings, offer us a unique window into their world. These vibrant scenes, preserved for thousands of years, provide a glimpse into the lives of ancient Egyptians, including their children. The Egyptians believed in life after death, a realm mirroring their earthly existence. They meticulously decorated their tombs with scenes from their daily lives, hoping to carry these experiences into the afterlife. These images, frozen in time, offer us invaluable insights into their customs, beliefs, and even the games their children played. Stepping into the painted chambers of ancient Egyptian tombs is like stepping back in time. We are transported to a world teeming with activity where children are not merely passive observers but active participants in the bustle of daily life. The tombs, particularly those from the Old and Middle Kingdoms, are replete with scenes of children engaging in various activities. These images reveal a society that cherished childhood and recognized the importance of play. Children are often depicted alongside adults participating in chores and celebrations. Their presence in these scenes suggests a close-knit family structure where children were integral members of the household and community. The tomb of Mereruka, a high-ranking official from the 6th dynasty, offers a captivating glimpse into the world of ancient Egyptian children. Among the many vibrant scenes adorning its walls, we find depictions of children engaged in playful acrobatics. These agile youngsters twist and contort their bodies into impressive poses, showcasing their flexibility and balance. One scene depicts a group of children forming a human pyramid, their small bodies balanced precariously atop one another. Another shows a young girl gracefully arched backward, her hands touching the ground behind her. These acrobatic displays were not merely forms of amusement. They were likely part of religious festivals and celebrations, adding an element of spectacle and entertainment to these important events. The rock-cut tombs of Beni Hassan, dating back to the Middle Kingdom, provide further evidence of the importance of movement and dance in ancient Egyptian culture. These tombs, carved meticulously into the cliffs, stand as silent witnesses to the vibrant life that once thrived here. The tombs, belonging to provincial governors, feature scenes of children engaged in a whirling dance, their bodies spinning and twirling with joyous abandon. These images capture the essence of youthful exuberance and the communal spirit of the time. Similarly, the tomb of Kheti showcases children caught in mid-twirl, their colourful garments swirling around them like vibrant blossoms. The vivid colours and dynamic poses bring these ancient scenes to life, allowing us to glimpse the past. These whirling dances, likely accompanied by music and rhythmic clapping, were not only a form of entertainment but also a way for children to express themselves creatively and connect with their cultural heritage. Through these dances, they celebrated their identity and passed down traditions from one generation to the next, ensuring the continuity of their rich cultural tapestry. The scorching Egyptian sun dictated much of daily life, and clothing was no exception. The intense heat and relentless sun shaped the way ancient Egyptians dressed, influencing their choice of materials and styles. Ancient Egyptian children, much like their adult counterparts, donned light and airy garments suited to the hot climate. These garments were designed to keep them cool and comfortable, allowing them to go about their daily activities without being hindered by the oppressive heat. Linen, a fabric woven from the flax plant, was the material of choice, its breathable nature providing comfort in the sweltering heat. The process of weaving linen was an essential skill, passed down through generations, ensuring that everyone had access to this vital fabric. Young children, particularly boys, were often depicted wearing little to no clothing, their bare skin allowing them to stay cool under the desert sun. This minimalistic approach to clothing was practical and efficient, helping them avoid overheating. Girls, as they grew older, would wear simple linen dresses, often held up by straps over the shoulders. These dresses were not only functional, but also allowed for a degree of modesty as they transitioned into adulthood. These lightweight garments allowed for ease of movement, essential for active children engaged in play and exploration. The freedom of movement provided by their clothing enabled them to fully enjoy their childhood, exploring the world around them without restriction. The ancient Egyptian concept of childhood extended beyond mere survival. It encompassed play and imagination. Archaeological excavations at Kahun, a workers' town associated with the pyramid of Senusret II, have unearthed a treasure trove of children's toys, providing tangible evidence of their playful pursuits. Among the finds are balls made of woven fibres, their simple construction belying hours of fun spent tossing and catching. Wooden sticks, resembling miniature javelins, hint at games of skill and accuracy, while small carved figurines of animals ignite the imagination, transporting children to a world of make-believe. These toys, simple yet enduring, offer a poignant reminder that the desire for play transcends time and culture. Play in ancient Egypt was not limited to physical activity, it also encompassed games of skill and strategy. These games were an integral part of daily life and were enjoyed by both the young and the old. Board games, in particular, were popular pastimes, enjoyed by people of all ages, including children. These games were often played in the evenings or during festivals, bringing families and communities together. Two of the most well-known ancient Egyptian board games are Senet and Mehen. These games have been discovered in various archaeological sites, indicating their widespread popularity. Senet, a game of strategy played on a long, narrow board with 30 squares, involved moving pieces according to the roll of dice. The game required careful planning and foresight to outmaneuver opponents. The game, often found depicted in tomb paintings, was believed to have religious significance, representing the journey of the soul through the afterlife. It was thought that mastering Senet could help one navigate the challenges of the afterlife. Mehen, named after the snake god, was played on a circular board resembling a coiled serpent. The unique design of the board added an extra layer of complexity to the game. Players would move their pieces around the board, attempting to capture their opponent's pieces. The game required strategic thinking and a deep understanding of the rules to succeed. These games not only provided entertainment, but also honed children's cognitive skills and strategic thinking. They were a vital part of education, teaching important life skills through play. The Nile River, the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, was not only a source of sustenance but also a playground for children seeking respite from the desert heat. Swimming was a popular activity, and tomb scenes often depict children frolicking in the river's cool waters. One scene shows a group of children splashing and playing in the shallows, their laughter echoing through the ages. Another depicts children swimming alongside adults, their bodies sleek and agile in the water. The Nile, despite its inherent dangers, provided a much-needed escape from the scorching sun, offering children a chance to cool off, socialize, and engage in carefree play. The scenes etched into the walls of ancient Egyptian tombs offer us a poignant and enduring glimpse into the lives of children who lived thousands of years ago. These images, imbued with a sense of timelessness, remind us that childhood, with its inherent joys and wonder, transcends time and cultural boundaries. While our knowledge of ancient Egyptian childhood remains fragmentary, these glimpses into their world paint a picture of a society that valued play, creativity, and the importance of family. The toys they cherished, the games they played, and the laughter that undoubtedly filled their days are testaments to the universality of childhood experiences. Imagine a place where the golden sands of the desert embrace the life-giving waters of the Nile. A place where the echoes of ancient rituals still resonate within towering stone walls. 60 kilometers north of Luxor, rising majestically from the sands, lies the Dendera temple complex. This sprawling site is not just a collection of stones, it's a portal to a world of gods, pharaohs, and the enduring mysteries of ancient Egypt. This sanctuary, primarily dedicated to the goddess Hathor, the embodiment of love, beauty, music and motherhood, is one of Egypt's best-preserved temple sites, a testament to centuries of unwavering devotion and unparalleled architectural mastery. Its remarkably intact state offers a unique glimpse into the religious practices and artistic achievements of the time. The main temple's colossal facade, adorned with intricate carvings and towering columns, dominates the landscape, a powerful statement of divine presence. Its sheer scale and breathtaking beauty are immediately striking, leaving visitors in awe of the ingenuity and artistry of its builders. Dendera's strategic location on the west bank of the Nile, a region deeply associated with the afterlife and rebirth in ancient Egyptian beliefs, was carefully chosen with profound symbolic intent. Known in antiquity as Unet or Tantere, it served as the capital of Upper Egypt's 6th province, a significant administrative and cultural centre. It was also a vibrant hub of religious activity for millennia, drawing pilgrims and priests alike to participate in elaborate ceremonies and honour the gods. For centuries, the desert sands acted as a protective shroud, preserving Dendera from the ravages of time and the elements. This natural preservation allows us today to step back in time and experience a past that feels remarkably intact, offering an unparalleled connection to ancient Egypt. Unlike the partially ruined complexes of Karnak or Luxor, where much has been lost to the ages, Dendera's exceptional completeness allows us to vividly imagine the world of the pharaohs and their Roman successors, offering a more immersive and comprehensive understanding of their beliefs and practices. Even now, faded colours still cling to the walls and ceilings, whispering stories of vibrant processions and sacred rituals. These remnants of pigment offer a tantalizing hint at the temple's original splendor, a dazzling display of artistic expression. The complex we see today largely dates from the Ptolemaic and Roman periods, reflecting the influence of these later rulers on Egyptian culture and architecture. However, its sacred roots delve much deeper, reaching back to Egypt's earliest dynastic days, suggesting a site of religious significance for millennia. Each ruler who contributed to its construction and embellishment added a chapter to a story thousands of years in the making, leaving their mark on its walls and pillars. Dendera stands as a living chronicle of Egypt's spiritual and political evolution, a testament to the enduring power of its civilization. It is a place where ancient Egyptian traditions met new influences from the Greco-Roman world, creating a unique fusion of artistic and religious expression. It stands as a unique and timeless testament, a beacon of human ingenuity and spiritual aspiration. Dendera is a powerful reminder of the enduring power of faith, the boundless capacity for creativity, and the enduring legacy of ancient Egypt. The construction of Dendera is not just a building project, it's a sprawling saga, a testament to the enduring power of faith and the ambition of rulers across millennia. Its story was written by many hands, a collaborative effort unfolding across generations, each leaving their indelible mark on its stones. The inscriptions themselves offer glimpses into the past, mentioning Old Kingdom rulers like Pepi I, revealing a history that stretches back to the very dawn of Egyptian civilization. These rulers were already restoring a sanctuary that was ancient even in their time, highlighting the cyclical nature of preservation and renewal in Egyptian culture. Later, pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom, with their own visions of grandeur, and those of the New Kingdoms, including the powerful Thutmose III and the celebrated Ramesses II, each left their mark, adding to the temple's rich tapestry of history and devotion. Sadly, many of their structures are mostly lost, either through the ravages of time or incorporated into the later building projects. Their contributions now whispers in the stones. This continuous patronage, spanning across dynasties and centuries, clearly shows Dendera's lasting importance as a sacred site and a symbol of Egyptian identity. It reveals that every dynasty, regardless of its origins or ambitions, sought to honor Hathor, the goddess of love, music and motherhood, and to connect with Egypt's deep traditions. However, the most significant building phase, the one that truly shaped the temple as we see it today, began under the rule of the Ptolemies, the Greek dynasty that followed Alexander the Great. These Ptolemaic rulers, though Greek in origin and culture, astutely embraced Egyptian religion and traditions as a means to legitimize their rule in the eyes of the Egyptian people. It was they who initiated the construction of the Grand Temple of Hathor, a monumental undertaking that would define Dendera for centuries to come. This ambitious project continued for nearly 2 centuries, a testament to the Ptolemies' commitment to integrating themselves into the fabric of Egyptian society. Later, when Rome conquered Egypt, adding it to its vast empire, Roman emperors like Augustus and Nero, following the Ptolemaic example, added their own images and cartouches to the temple walls and even completed the magnificent hypostyle hall, seamlessly blending their legacy with that of ancient Egypt. Dendera's seamless transition from Ptolemaic to Roman patronage is a remarkable example of cultural continuity, and it highlights the extraordinary resilience of Egyptian culture in the face of foreign rule and influence. The temple, like a living organism, absorbed new rulers and their influences, yet remained firmly rooted in its ancient worldview, its core beliefs and traditions. In the end, it stands as a powerful monument to Egypt's unique ability to adapt, endure and inspire awe across the ages, a beacon of cultural strength shining through the sands of time. At Dendera's heart, rising majestically from the sands of time, stands the Temple of Hathor. Its imposing facade hints at the wonders held within, a testament to the ingenuity and artistry of the ancient Egyptians. Remarkably, it is more a preserved marvel than a ruin, offering an unparalleled glimpse into the religious practices and beliefs of a civilization long past. The temple's state of preservation allows us to truly appreciate the grandeur and sophistication of its design. Called the Castle of the Sistrum, a sacred musical instrument, it was believed to be Hathor's earthly home, a tangible bridge between the mortal realm and the heavens above. This temple served as a focal point for worship and connection with the divine. The temple's architecture is deeply cosmic, reflecting the ancient Egyptians' understanding of the universe and their place within it. Every element was carefully considered to create a harmonious and spiritually significant space. The very floors beneath our feet represent the earth, solid and grounding, connecting the temple to the physical world. The towering columns, adorned with plant capitals of lotus and papyrus, symbolize primordial plants, representing the life-giving forces of nature and the fertile lands of Egypt. And the ceilings above are painted to depict the starry sky, a celestial map filled with astronomical symbols and constellations reminding visitors of the vastness of the cosmos. The hypostyle hall, a forest of 24 columns, each meticulously crafted and topped with the serene face of Hathor, creates a profound sense of divine welcome, enveloping visitors in the goddess's gentle presence. The ceiling here is not just decoration, it's a painted map of the heavens, meticulously detailed with astronomical zodiac constellations, charting the sun's daily and yearly journey across the sky. Hathor, the beloved goddess of love, joyous music and nurturing motherhood, was central to Egyptian life. But she was also revered as a fierce protector, a powerful deity who guided souls through the perils of the afterlife, ensuring their safe passage to eternity. The temple was a vibrant center of activity, celebrating all aspects of Hathor's multifaceted nature, hosting elaborate festivals filled with music and dance. It was also a place of healing, where sacred rituals were performed to alleviate suffering and restore balance to the body and spirit. And it served as a conduit for divine wisdom, with oracles delivering prophecies and guidance to those who sought answers from the gods. As visitors progressed through the temple, they moved from the brightly lit hypostyle hall into increasingly darker and more sacred chambers, symbolizing a journey inward towards spiritual enlightenment. This journey culminated in the Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctuary, the most sacred space within the entire temple complex. Only the high priest, the intermediary between the goddess and the people, was permitted to enter this innermost sanctuary to tend to the goddess's cult statue, performing rituals to honor and sustain her divine presence. Every space within the Temple of Hathor was meticulously designed for ritual, reinforcing Hathor's presence and power, ensuring that her influence permeated every aspect of daily life. Today, the Temple of Hathor remains a living symbol of Egypt's rich spiritual imagination, a testament to the enduring power of belief and the remarkable achievements of ancient civilization. On the temple's roof, a small chapel once held the Dendera zodiac, a masterpiece of ancient astronomy. The original circular bas-relief, now in the Louvre, is a map of the heavens as seen by the Egyptians. It fuses Greco-Roman zodiac signs with traditional Egyptian constellations, blending cultures and knowledge. Planets appear as deities in celestial boats, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. The zodiac's placement in a chapel dedicated to Osiris linked the cycles of stars to death and rebirth. Its circular design symbolized the eternal nature of time and cosmic order. When the zodiac was removed to Paris, it sparked debates about the age of the world and Egypt's scientific legacy. Later analysis dated it to the late Ptolemaic period, around 50 BCE. The Dendera zodiac remains a unique artifact, revealing the depth of ancient Egyptian astronomy and cross-cultural exchange. It is a testament to the Egyptians' quest to understand their place in the universe. Beyond the Temple of Hathor, Dendera's complex unfolds as a tapestry of sacred spaces. A massive mud brick wall once enclosed the precinct, separating the divine from the everyday. Entering through the Roman-built northern gateway, visitors followed a processional way to the main temple. To the right stands the original birthhouse, or Mamisi, of Nectanebo I, dedicated to the divine birth of Horus and the Pharaoh. Nearby, the ruins of a Coptic basilica show how the site was repurposed in Christian times. Behind the main temple, the Roman-era Temple of Isis tells the story of Osiris's death and rebirth under Hathor's protection. The complex also includes a sacred lake for priestly purification and a sanatorium where pilgrims sought healing dreams from Hathor. Dendera was more than a temple. It was a center of worship, healing and community life. Its layers reveal Egypt's evolving spiritual landscape. Deep in the temple's crypts, mysterious reliefs known as the Dendera Light have fueled debate for decades. These carvings show bulb-like objects with serpents inside, connected to boxes resembling jade pillars. Fringe theories claim these are ancient electrical devices, explaining how Egyptians lit dark interiors without soot. Mainstream Egyptologists, however, see rich symbolism: the bulb as the sky goddess's womb, the serpent as the sun's creative force, the lotus as rebirth, and the jade as stability. There's no evidence for ancient electricity. No bulbs, filaments or batteries have been found. Egyptians used mirrors and clean-burning lamps for illumination. The Dendera light is a mythological scene, not a technological blueprint. It's a striking example of how ancient art can inspire both wonder and wild speculation. South of the main temple stands the Roman Mamisi, or birthhouse, one of Dendera's best-preserved buildings. Dedicated to the divine birth of Ihi, son of Hathor and Horus, the Mamisi was the stage for rituals celebrating both myth and royal legitimacy. Built by Augustus and decorated by Trajan and Hadrian, its reliefs show Roman emperors as Egyptian pharaohs making offerings to the gods. The building blends Egyptian and Greco-Roman styles, reflecting the era's cultural fusion. Vivid reliefs depict Hathor's pregnancy, Ihi's birth, and his presentation to the gods. These scenes reinforce the emperor's divine right to rule Egypt. During festivals, Hathor's statue was carried in procession to the Mamisi, symbolizing the reunion of the divine family. The Mamisi was central to Dendera's religious life and remains a window into Roman Egypt's spiritual world. It stands as a symbol of adaptation and enduring tradition. Dendera's walls and crypts are a treasure trove of history and intrigue. On the rear wall, the only known relief of Cleopatra VII and her son Caesarion shows them presenting offerings, a poignant bid for legitimacy. The temple's 14 crypts hidden below stored sacred objects and are covered in detailed reliefs, protected from centuries of damage. Exploring these chambers reveals the secret workings of the ancient priesthood. The temple's roof too was a ritual space, with chapels and kiosks for ceremonies like the New Year's dawn, when Hathor's statue greeted the rising sun. Modern restoration has uncovered the original vibrant colours of the hypostyle hall's astronomical ceiling, transforming our view of the temple's splendour. Each discovery adds new layers to Dendera's story. The temple continues to yield secrets, connecting us to the rituals and lives of its ancient builders. Dendera is not just a relic, it's a living archive of Egypt's past. Its walls still speak, inviting us to listen and learn. Dendera is more than an archaeological site. It's a testament to the enduring power of faith and culture. For millennia, it bridged the human and divine, witnessing dynasties, empires, and shifting beliefs. Its preservation offers the most complete glimpse of a Greco-Roman temple in Egypt. Dendera's reliefs and architecture are a stone textbook, teaching us about gods, astronomy, politics, and daily life. Today, it inspires tourists, scholars, and seekers alike, sparking new questions and interpretations. Debates over the Dendera light and the zodiac show the site's ongoing role in our quest for knowledge. Standing in the hypostyle hall, beneath Hathor's gaze and a ceiling of stars, you feel a timeless connection. Dendera reminds us that the search for meaning and beauty is eternal. It is not just a monument to the past, but a mirror reflecting our own enduring curiosity. The echo of Dendera's legacy still resonates, inviting us to wonder and explore. The sands of time hold countless stories, whispers of civilizations long gone. Unraveling these mysteries is the pursuit of archaeology, a field forever changed by the work of Sir William Matthew Flinders Petrie. Born in 1853, Petrie's name has become synonymous with meticulous excavation and groundbreaking discoveries. Petrie's approach to archaeology was revolutionary, emphasizing careful observation, detailed recording, and the preservation of even the smallest artifacts. This marked a stark contrast to the treasure-hunting mentality that had often characterized earlier excavations. Petrie's commitment to scientific rigor laid the foundation for modern archaeological practices. Born in Charlton, England, young William's fascination with the past began early. Homeschooled and encouraged by his surveyor father, he developed a keen eye for detail and a passion for history. While other children played games, Petrie explored ancient British sites, sketching ruins and collecting artifacts. These formative experiences ignited a lifelong desire to understand the people and cultures of bygone eras. His early studies focused on surveying and engineering, skills that would prove invaluable in his archaeological pursuits. However, Petrie's true passion lay in uncovering the secrets of the past. In 1880, at the age of 27, Petrie embarked on his first expedition to the land of the Pharaohs, a journey that would forever alter the course of his life and the field of archaeology itself. Arriving in Egypt, a land shimmering with heat and ancient stories, the young Petrie was captivated. He was determined to bring a new level of scientific rigor to the field, moving beyond the treasure hunting that characterized many excavations of the time. His early work took him to the pyramids of Giza, majestic monuments that had captivated imaginations for millennia. While others had been drawn to the grandeur of the pyramids themselves, Petrie focused on the surrounding areas, the workers' villages and cemeteries. He believed that understanding the lives of the people who built these incredible structures was just as important as understanding the pharaohs they entombed. Petrie's work at Giza garnered attention, and he soon found himself leading excavations at Tanis, an ancient Egyptian capital in the Nile Delta. Here he unearthed the royal tombs of the 21st and 22nd dynasties, a period of Egyptian history shrouded in mystery. These tombs, filled with gold, silver and intricate jewellery, yielded a wealth of information about a turbulent and often overlooked era. But it wasn't just the opulence of the treasures that fascinated Petrie. He was equally captivated by the everyday objects, the pottery shards, tools and toys that offered glimpses into the lives of ordinary Egyptians. Through his meticulous excavations at Giza and Tanis, Petrie was building a reputation as a skilled and insightful archaeologist. One of Petrie's most significant contributions to archaeology was his development of sequence dating, a groundbreaking method for establishing chronological order in archaeological contexts. He observed that pottery styles evolved over time, and that by carefully analyzing and categorizing these styles, it was possible to create a relative timeline for different layers of an excavation site. Petrie's system of sequence dating revolutionized archaeology, providing a framework for understanding the chronology of ancient cultures. It allowed archaeologists to move beyond vague assumptions and establish a more accurate understanding of the relationships between different sites and artifacts. His work laid the foundation for more sophisticated dating methods such as radiocarbon dating, which would be developed decades later. Petrie's unwavering commitment to meticulous fieldwork, scientific rigor, and the preservation of archaeological heritage established a new standard for the field. By the late 19th century, Petrie's reputation as a meticulous archaeologist had spread. He turned his attention to Tel el-Hesi, a mound in southern Palestine that held the ruins of an ancient city. Layers upon layers of human occupation promised a treasure trove of information, a window into millennia of history. The site was a complex puzzle, with remnants of various civilizations piled one atop another. But Petrie, with his characteristic systematic approach, embraced the challenge. By analyzing the pottery fragments from different layers at Tel el-Hesi, Petrie was able to establish a relative chronological sequence for the site, a breakthrough that revolutionized archaeological dating. In 1896, while excavating the ruins of an ancient temple at Thebes, Petrie stumbled upon a discovery that would reverberate through the halls of history, the Merneptah Stele. This large granite slab inscribed with hieroglyphics had been repurposed as building material by later pharaohs, its significance lying dormant for centuries. The stele, standing over 10 feet tall, was a testament to the ambition and might of Pharaoh Merneptah, son of the legendary Rameses II. It detailed Merneptah's military campaigns and victories, boasting of his triumphs over enemies in Libya and Canaan. But it was a single line tucked away among the boasts of conquest that would electrify the world of biblical archaeology. This inscription, now known as the Israel Stele, is the earliest known reference to Israel outside of the Bible. The discovery of the Merneptah Stele sent shockwaves through the world of biblical scholarship. Here, in an Egyptian text, was independent confirmation of a people known as Israel existing in Canaan during the Late Bronze Age, a period corresponding to the biblical account of the Exodus and the conquest of Canaan. The stele provided tangible historical evidence that corroborated, at least in part, the biblical narrative, sparking intense debate and discussion. Petrie, ever the meticulous scholar, approached the inscription with caution. He recognized the significance of the find, but also the need for careful analysis and interpretation. The Merneptah Stele became a cornerstone of biblical archaeology, sparking decades of research and debate about the relationship between the biblical account and archaeological evidence. The discovery of the Merneptah Stele cemented Petrie's status as a giant in the field of archaeology. Yet his most enduring legacy lies not just in his individual discoveries, but in his revolutionary approach to the discipline itself. Petrie was among the first to recognize that archaeology was more than just treasure hunting. It was a scientific endeavour that demanded rigour, precision, and a deep respect for the past. Prior to Petrie, excavations were often haphazard affairs, more akin to treasure hunts than scientific investigations. Petrie, however, insisted on a systematic approach. By understanding the context in which an object was found, Petrie could piece together a more complete picture of the past. Petrie's commitment to meticulous excavation extended to his unwavering belief in the importance of artifact preservation. He recognized that these fragments of the past were not just curiosities to be displayed, but vital pieces of evidence that held the key to understanding past civilizations. He established strict protocols for the handling and documentation of artifacts, ensuring that even the smallest fragments were carefully catalogued and stored. He understood that future generations of scholars would build upon his work, and that preserving the integrity of the archaeological record was paramount. Petrie's advocacy for preservation went beyond words. He established museums in Egypt and England to house the artifacts he unearthed, ensuring their protection and accessibility for future generations. Petrie's impact extended far beyond his own excavations and discoveries. He was a gifted teacher and mentor, inspiring a new generation of archaeologists to embrace his rigorous methods and unwavering commitment to preservation. He established archaeological training programs both in England and Egypt, where he instilled in his students the importance of meticulous fieldwork, scientific observation, and a deep respect for the cultures they were studying. Petrie's students went on to become leading figures in the field, disseminating his methods and principles across the globe. His influence can be seen in the work of countless archaeologists who followed, from the deserts of Egypt to the jungles of South America. As Petrie's career progressed, he became increasingly concerned about the threats facing Egypt's archaeological treasures. He witnessed firsthand the damage being inflicted by uncontrolled tourism, looting, and the encroachment of modern development. He recognized that if these irreplaceable pieces of the past were to be saved for future generations, urgent action was needed. Petrie became a vocal advocate for the preservation of Egypt's cultural heritage. He lobbied tirelessly for the creation of antiquities laws and the establishment of government agencies tasked with protecting archaeological sites. His efforts, while often met with resistance, helped to lay the groundwork for the modern field of cultural heritage management in Egypt. Sir William Matthew Flinders Petrie, the boy who had once explored ancient British ruins, left an indelible mark on the world of archaeology. He revolutionized the field, transforming it from a pursuit of treasures to a rigorous scientific discipline. His meticulous methods, his unwavering commitment to preservation, and his passion for understanding the past continue to inspire generations of archaeologists. His legacy is etched in the countless artifacts he unearthed, carefully preserved and displayed in museums around the world. It lives on in the meticulous records he kept, a treasure trove of information that continues to fuel research and discovery. His work reminds us that the past is not a distant, irrelevant realm, but a vibrant tapestry that continues to shape our present and our future. Let's travel back in time to meet the Nabateans, a fascinating ancient civilization. They were an ancient people who lived in the deserts of the Middle East, thriving in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Imagine them becoming a powerful force between the 4th and 2nd centuries BC, known for their amazing trading skills and strategic acumen. They were like the experts of their time, controlling important trade routes that connected Arabia, Egypt and the Mediterranean, facilitating the exchange of goods and culture. Think of the valuable goods they transported: spices, incense and myrrh, items that were highly sought after and essential for various rituals and daily life. These goods were super popular in the ancient world, making the Nabateans incredibly influential and wealthy. This trade made them very wealthy, allowing them to build impressive cities and monuments, the most famous being Petra, carved into the cliffs. The Nabateans were also skilled negotiators, adept at keeping peace with different empires and ensuring the safety of their trade routes. This made them important players in the region's trade, acting as intermediaries between various cultures and economies. Even today, historians and archaeologists are fascinated by their legacy as desert traders, uncovering new insights into their sophisticated society and enduring influence. The beginnings of the Nabateans are still a bit of a mystery. Their early history is shrouded in the sands of time, leaving much to the imagination and the diligent work of archaeologists. Scholars, who are like history detectives, believe they were a nomadic Arab people who journeyed from the Arabian Peninsula around the 6th century BC. These scholars piece together clues from ancient texts and artifacts to form a picture of the Nabateans' early days. They settled in what we now know as Jordan, southern Syria, and northwestern Saudi Arabia. This region, with its rugged terrain and strategic location, became the heart of their civilization. Living in this tough desert environment shaped their culture, making them experts at saving water. The harsh conditions of the desert demanded ingenuity and resilience, qualities that the Nabateans possessed in abundance. They came up with clever ways to collect and store water, which helped them thrive in this unforgiving landscape. Their advanced water management systems, including cisterns and rock-cut channels, were marvels of engineering. The name Nabatean might come from the Arabic word nabat, meaning to spring up or grow, which makes sense considering how they flourished in a dry environment. Their ability to adapt and grow in such a harsh climate is a testament to their resourcefulness. The Nabateans left behind a rich cultural legacy, and their impact on the region is still visible today. From the majestic ruins of Petra to the ancient inscriptions that tell their story, the Nabateans continue to captivate our imagination and inspire awe. The Nabateans were known for their advanced and fair society. Unlike many ancient civilizations, they didn't believe in slavery. They believed in working together and sharing responsibility, valuing equality and fairness. The Nabateans were ruled by a royal family, but their system wasn't like a monarchy where the king has absolute power. The king had advisors and a council to give him advice, which suggests a kind of democracy in their government. This focus on justice and collaboration made them successful, creating a strong sense of community. It helped them manage their trade networks and maintain stability for centuries. Their societal structure shows us their progressive values. The Nabateans believed in many gods and goddesses, often connected to nature. They respected the power of the sun, mountains and water. Dushara, the god of the mountains, was their main god, and they also worshipped Alat, a goddess of fertility and prosperity. The Nabateans included elements of other cultures in their religious practices, reflecting their interactions with different civilizations through trade. They considered certain places sacred, building impressive temples and high places for worship. These structures, often carved directly into sandstone cliffs, show off their amazing architectural skills. Their religious beliefs played a big part in their culture and art. The Nabatean kingdom was in a very strategic location, nestled in the heart of the ancient world. They lived in a region that is now Jordan, southern Syria, and parts of Saudi Arabia, a vast and diverse landscape that offered both challenges and opportunities. Their territory included important trade routes, which were the lifeblood of their economy and culture. These routes crossed the Arabian Peninsula and connected to the Mediterranean Sea, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. This strategic location was really important for their economic success, allowing them to become a central hub in the ancient world. It allowed them to control the flow of goods between the East and the West, making them indispensable to traders and merchants. The Nabateans were skilled diplomats, adept at negotiating and maintaining alliances. They maintained peaceful relationships with their neighbours, ensuring stability and prosperity within their borders. This allowed them to focus on trade and development, building a robust economy and sophisticated infrastructure. They built a network of impressive cities, with Petra being the crown jewel, showcasing their architectural prowess. These cities thrived as centres of commerce and culture, attracting people from all over the ancient world. Their ability to thrive in a challenging environment is a testament to their adaptability and ingenuity, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire to this day. The Nabateans were masters of trade. They dominated the lucrative incense route. This route brought frankincense, myrrh and spices from southern Arabia to the Mediterranean. These commodities were highly prized in the ancient world. They were used in religious ceremonies, perfumes and medicines. The Nabateans transported these goods across vast deserts using camel caravans. Their knowledge of the desert and its oases was unparalleled. They developed sophisticated systems for navigation and water conservation. This allowed them to cross vast distances and endure harsh conditions. Their control of the incense route brought them immense wealth and influence. They became key players in the ancient world's economy. The Nabateans are perhaps best known for their capital city, Petra. This magnificent city, located in Jordan, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Petra is renowned for its awe-inspiring rock-cut architecture. The city is carved directly into towering sandstone cliffs. The most iconic structure in Petra is the treasury. This elaborate facade, carved into the cliff face, is a testament to the Nabateans' architectural genius. It served as a royal tomb. Petra was more than just a city. It was a symbol of Nabatean wealth and power. It showcased their mastery of engineering and art. The Nabateans lived in a complex geopolitical landscape. They interacted with powerful empires like the Ptolemies of Egypt and the Seleucids of Syria. The Nabateans were skilled diplomats. They formed alliances and negotiated their independence. They successfully defended their territory against invasions. They demonstrated their military prowess. In 106 AD, the Roman Empire annexed the Nabatean kingdom. Petra became part of the Roman province of Arabia Petrea. Despite Roman rule, the Nabateans' cultural influence persisted. Their architectural style continued to flourish. The Nabatean kingdom may have fallen to the Romans. However, their legacy continues to resonate today. Their impressive architectural achievements, particularly Petra, continue to inspire awe and wonder. Their innovative water management systems are still studied by modern engineers. The Nabateans made significant contributions to art, language and culture. They developed a distinctive script. This script influenced the development of the Arabic alphabet. Their artistic motifs, blending Eastern and Western influences, reflect their cosmopolitan nature. The Nabateans were a remarkable civilization. They thrived in a challenging environment. They built a prosperous kingdom on trade and innovation. Their story is a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Their legacy continues to enrich our understanding of the ancient world. A palace for antiquities, the genesis of the Egyptian Museum. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo stands as a testament to a civilization that captivated the world for millennia. Its story began in the mid-19th century, a time when Egypt witnessed a resurgence of interest in its ancient past. Auguste Mariette, a French archaeologist, played a pivotal role. Mariette, alarmed by the plundering of ancient sites, advocated for the preservation of Egypt's heritage. His vision materialized in 1858 with the establishment of the Antiquities Service, the precursor to the museum. Housed initially in a modest building near the Boulak district, the collection grew rapidly. The Nile, however, had other plans. A devastating flood in 1878 threatened the burgeoning collection. The artifacts were meticulously moved to safety, but the event underscored the need for a more secure and permanent home. The pioneers, early curators, and their contributions. The museum found its current home in 1902 in a majestic edifice in Cairo's Tahrir Square. Designed by the French architect Marcel Dornion, the building itself is an impressive blend of neoclassical and ancient Egyptian styles. Its grand staircase and spacious halls provided an appropriate setting for the treasures within. Gaston Maspero, an eminent Egyptologist, succeeded Mariette as the museum's director. Maspero's tenure marked a period of significant expansion and scholarly rigor. He reorganized the collection, implemented modern museological practices, and published extensively on Egyptian history and culture. Another prominent figure was Howard Carter, whose discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 catapulted the museum into the global spotlight. The subsequent arrival of Tutankhamun's treasures, including the iconic golden mask, drew crowds from around the world. Housing treasures, the museum's architectural evolution. The museum's layout, with its 2 floors, reflects a chronological and thematic organization. The ground floor houses heavier objects, including colossal statues, sarcophagi, and monumental pieces from various periods of Egyptian history. One can encounter imposing figures of pharaohs and deities. Upstairs, the focus shifts to smaller, more delicate artifacts. Rooms are dedicated to specific periods, such as the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms, providing a comprehensive overview of Egypt's artistic and cultural evolution. Jewelry, pottery, papyri, and funerary objects offer intimate glimpses into the lives of ancient Egyptians. Over the decades, the museum has undergone expansions and renovations to accommodate its ever-growing collection. New wings and galleries have been added, and modern display techniques have been implemented to enhance the visitor experience. The Boy King's legacy, Tutankhamun's treasures unveiled. Among the museum's vast holdings, Tutankhamun's treasures occupy a place of unparalleled prominence. Discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, the nearly intact tomb of the young pharaoh yielded a wealth of artifacts that captivated the world. The discovery provided an unprecedented glimpse into the opulence and artistry of ancient Egypt. At the heart of this collection lies Tutankhamun's golden mask, a masterpiece of funerary art. Crafted from solid gold and inlaid with semi-precious stones, the mask is a breathtaking example of ancient craftsmanship. Its serene expression and idealized features embody the youthful king's eternal afterlife. The mask, however, is but one of many treasures recovered from Tutankhamun's tomb. The museum houses a vast array of objects, including gilded chariots, ornate furniture, alabaster vessels, and a dazzling array of jewelry. Tutankhamun's tomb contained over 5,000 artifacts, each meticulously crafted and imbued with symbolic meaning. The chariots, for example, were not merely modes of transportation, but represented the king's power and divine status. The furniture, adorned with intricate carvings and inlays, served both practical and ritualistic purposes. The alabaster vessels, some shaped like animals or mythical creatures, held precious unguents and perfumes, essential for the king's journey to the afterlife. The jewellery, ranging from delicate necklaces to elaborate pectorals, showcased the skill of ancient Egyptian goldsmiths and reflected the king's status and wealth. The sheer quantity and quality of the artifacts from Tutankhamun's tomb provide an unparalleled understanding of the funerary practices, religious beliefs, and artistic achievements of ancient Egypt. The collection continues to captivate and inspire awe in visitors from around the world. Beyond Tutankhamun's treasures, the Egyptian Museum offers a comprehensive journey through millennia of Egyptian history. From the pre-dynastic period to the Greco-Roman era, the museum's collection spans over 5,000 years of civilization. Each artifact, whether a monumental statue or a humble amulet, provides a window into the past. The Old Kingdom, known for its pyramid building, is represented by colossal statues of pharaohs such as Djoser, Khufu, and Khafra. The Middle Kingdom, a period of political and cultural resurgence, is showcased through intricate jewellery, elegant sculptures, and finely crafted models of daily life. The New Kingdom, marked by imperial expansion and artistic innovation, is richly represented by objects from the reigns of powerful pharaohs like Hatshepsut, Thutmose III, and Ramesses II. The museum also houses artifacts from later periods, including the Ptolemaic and Roman eras, reflecting the enduring legacy of ancient Egypt. Within the museum's walls, countless stories unfold, each object whispering tales of a bygone era. The Nama palette, for example, a ceremonial object dating back to the early dynastic period, depicts the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt, a pivotal event in Egyptian history. The museum also houses a vast collection of papyri, ancient scrolls containing a wealth of information about Egyptian literature, religion, medicine, and daily life. The Book of the Dead, a collection of funerary texts, provides insights into Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife. Beyond the iconic artifacts, the museum holds countless hidden gems, each with its own story to tell. A small amulet worn for protection, a child's toy, a scribe's palette. These everyday objects offer intimate glimpses into the lives of ancient Egyptians. The Egyptian Museum serves not only as a repository of artifacts, but also as a centre for research and conservation. A team of dedicated curators, archaeologists and conservators work tirelessly to preserve and study the collection, ensuring that future generations can appreciate the wonders of ancient Egypt. The museum's conservation laboratories are equipped with state-of-the-art technology, allowing experts to restore and preserve delicate objects. Researchers from around the world come to study the museum's collection, contributing to our understanding of Egyptian history, culture and art. The museum also plays a vital role in combating the illicit trafficking of antiquities. By raising awareness and collaborating with international organizations, the museum strives to protect Egypt's cultural heritage from looting and destruction. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo stands as a testament to one of the world's most enduring civilizations. Its vast and diverse collection, spanning millennia of history, continues to captivate and inspire awe in visitors from around the globe. From the iconic golden mask of Tutankhamun to the everyday objects of ordinary Egyptians, the museum offers a window into a world both familiar and extraordinary. As a centre for research, conservation and education, the museum plays a vital role in preserving Egypt's cultural heritage for future generations. Its mission extends beyond its walls, fostering a deeper appreciation for the achievements of ancient Egypt and inspiring a sense of wonder at the ingenuity, creativity and resilience of the human spirit.